27. Lenmini era. Raised by pressure, lifted by love. Raised by pressure, lifted by love. Lenmini.
Have you ever felt like your entire family was watching you, waiting for you to succeed, just so they could say, that's how it should be done? I have. Madam Postmaster, ladies and gentlemen. Being the eldest in a Sri Lankan family is like being the trial version of life. You don't get updates, you just get expectations. I'm the first child in my family. We expect it. So, from day one, my mom was clear. My father had only one. You are afraid. Your two sisters are following you. Even though he never said it harshly, those words wrapped around me like invisible chains. I was no longer living for myself. I was living to lead, to prove, to set the example. That pressure began shaping my journey from a very young age. Especially when I passed my scholarship exam and got selected to one of the top 3 girls' schools in Canada, Jayewardenepura College. On my first day there, the principal announced, "You may choose the English medium class if your child wants to, because this year there won't be any selection exam." And at that moment, my mother gently repeated, "Why don't you try studying English medium?" I was scared, not just because I wasn't very good at English, but because my father didn't want me. But still, I said, "Yes, ma'am." Because sometimes we choose the harder path, not for ourselves, but to honor the people who have correctly believed in us all along. Anyway, as expected, it was such a disaster. I couldn't catch up with any subject which was taught in English, so I scored lower marks in my subjects. From being among the top, I dropped a third grade in the class. Just to face my dad, I started reading more and proved out to 21st in the class. But it was still far below what was expected of me. So, eventually this pattern repeated itself 3 times. One day, when my father was truly disappointed of me, he said, "I'll never keep seeing her in your class." I stayed silent. I saw my mother's eyes filled with tears. Tears that said, "Maybe this is my fault." At that moment, I made a decision. If I couldn't do it for myself, I would do it for her. So I studied. I slowly began to rise. While I was struggling to catch up with academically, I was also learning something else. That's about friendship. From the first day in my class, I wanted to be friends with the prettiest girl in my class. Not just because we had a deep connection, but because I wanted to be known as her friend. So she's so smart, admired, confident. But whenever I asked her the meaning for an English word, she'd answer me, "I don't know how to explain it in Sinhalani." I believed her. I thought, okay, she's so smart, I am the stupidest here. Until I met Chalani. Chalani is one of the cleverest girls in our class who looked exactly like Karate. So when I asked Chalani for the same help I used to ask from that girl, she didn't just give me answers. She'd say, "If you find a difficult word in a sentence, read the sentence above it and one below. You will find the meaning for the word within the sentence." She helped me think, not just memorize. But however, some so-called friends started filling her mind with doubts, so that friendship faded away. Even though I tried my best to keep Turn them into bricks. Build with them. Grow with them. Because the very people who drag you down become the reason you rise. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is where your true power, your true inspiration